but only showed the hotel screen that had greeted me on my arrival in the room last night. Welcome, Mr. Double. Above this was the corporate logo, a stylized W in the official red. A stock photo of a group of weigh-in staff, or models playing weigh-in staff, smiled up at me. Room service numbers and pay TV options were listed underneath. Today's special in the restaurant was pan-seared salmon. The weather for today and tomorrow, fog and rain. Temperature scarce degrees above zero. I picked up the remote and found the BBC News. The sky had lightened, but the view had not improved. The glass in the window was thick, presumably soundproofed against the nearby airport, and it gave the landscape a sea-green tint. Mucoid mist shrouded nearly everything. My room was on the second floor of the hotel. Outside was a strip of car park, bounded by a chain-link fence, then an empty plot on which a few stacks of orange traffic barriers and half a dozen white vans were slowly sinking into mud. To the extreme right there was a road flanked by a long artificial ridge of earth scabbed with weeds, over which the street lights of the motorway could be seen. The lights could also be seen reflected in the water-filled ruts that vehicles had left in the scraped-back land. Under the mud, everything waited to be made over again. More street lights, more car parking, more windows to look out of. Many people, I imagine, would find this a depressing scene, but not me. I love to wake in a hotel room. The anonymity, the fact the room could be anywhere. The features that fill others with gloom fill me with pleasure. I have loved hotels since the first time I set foot in one. I dressed, half listening to headlines coming from the TV. It was nothing, everything, all things I knew, had heard before. Events. People crushed against a wall, wailing women somewhere hot, an American ambulance, boxy orange and white in that too bright American style of TV footage, then more familiar video texture from the UK, flowers zip-tied to a signpost beside a road, tears in camera flashes, an appeal for witnesses. The newsreader looked up from her screen and seemed for a split second to be surprised by the sight of cameras. World weather. A list of major cities with numbers beside them, little icons meaning sunshine and storms, a world reduced to a spreadsheet of data points. I flipped open my laptop, and it came to life. Heavy black, unread emails were heaped in my inbox. Invitations, press releases, mailing lists, flight and hotel bookings. More headlines refreshing in my readers. For a moment I was aware of everything. Everything was in reach, and then the Wi-Fi symbol flashed and stuttered. A bubble warned me that my connection was lost, and I snapped my laptop shut. The TV was still on. A palm tree jerked and writhed, thrashing back and forth as debris passed it horizontally, and the camera went dead. Unseasonal. The newsreader looked up, saw me, and told me the number of dead. I plucked my keycard from its plastic niche on the wall, killing the room. Myself, reflected to infinity, bending away into an unseeable grey nothing on a twisted horizon. The lift came to a smooth halt. My myriad reflections in its mirrored walls stopped looking at each other. The doors opened, revealing the bright lobby and a pot-bellied man with a moustache who stared back at me as if astonished that I should be using his lift. "Sorry," I mumbled, a social reflex, and stepped out. Music had been playing in the lift, softly, as if it was not meant to be heard. If it was not meant to be heard, why play it at all? To prevent silence, perhaps. To insulate the traveller from isolation and reflection, just as the opposing mirrors provided an unending army of companions that was best admired alone. But I had heard the music, and had been trying to identify it. The answer had come when the doors opened. Jumpin' Jack Flash, instrumental in a zero-cal, easy-listening style. Wet polymers hung in the air. The hotel was new, and the chemicals used to treat the upholstery and carpets perfumed the lobby. Box-fresh surfaces blazed under scores of LED bulbs. The lobby was a long, corridor-like space connecting the main entrance with one of the building's courtyards. These courtyards were made up to look like Japanese Zen meditation gardens.